Hey agents, this is Hannibal. Today I want to continue the conversation regarding a previous video I made, whether or not to join a clan or run solo. For this episode we're going to go over the ins and outs of strictly solo versus team play in the Division 2, and this will cover PvE, PvP, and the builds that work. So let's do it. Going solo or playing with a team? The Division 2 changes drastically and dramatically depending on how you play and what you're doing. In this breakdown, we're going to look at the advantages and trade-offs of both approaches across PvE and PvP, with tips for builds, playstyles, and when to switch it up. In the Division 2, the way you play shapes how the game plays back. Rolling solo feels like you're one agent against the entire game world. Your approach can be methodical, self-reliant, and in full control. Playing with a team? Well, that's coordination, synergy, and a potential for some level of chaos with just enough brilliance to keep you coming back. But this isn't just about performance. Solo versus team play shifts your builds, your strategy, and your effectiveness, especially when you factor in PvE or PvP. So let's break it down. What works, when, and why, and whether you're new to the game or trying to evolve your playstyle. So how the game changes. Playing solo, you're in charge. Pretty simple, right? No one rushes through rooms, no one messes up your flanks, and you can plan every encounter and even adjust your encounters on the fly. It's just you, your skills, and your loadout. The downside? There's no one to bail you out. You make a mistake, you're done. You can respawn and try again, sure. Also, if you called in help during a control point takeover, you can be revived by the captain of the team. There's some caveats here though. If you're stemming and the captain can revive you, well, unless he or she is meleeed or catches fire, then he or she is pretty much going to leave you there to die. In team play, the battlefield does have a tendency to become fluid and unpredictable. However, you can stack status effects, revive each other, and rotate roles. But coordination matters as well as communication. Without these, team play can feel harder than solo. You're only as strong as your weakest squad mate. So here's the key. Division 2 scales differently for each. It's not just about enemy toughness, it's about encounter design, pressure, and opportunity. What works solo won't always fly in group play, and vice versa. So, what works best with playing solo? With PvP? Well, solo excels in the open world. Control points. You can kite enemies, use cover freely, and pick your timing. Bounties, side missions, projects, they're manageable and with steady progress. Resource hunting, there's zero pressure, great for experimenting with new builds or just chilling. Best solo traits? Self-sustain. There's armor on kill, memento, intimidate with a shield, or with adrenaline rush. There's survivability. There's hunter's fury, bulwark, striker, regen hybrids. You got crowd control. This can be used with turrets and drones, jammer pulses for grouped enemies. Specializations like survivalist or technician, which support defensive or skill-focused play. Solo is all about reliability, regen, and rhythm. You have to be your own healer, your own tank, and your own fire team. And you can take as much time as you need in 99% of the content. So what works best with a team PvP? Team play unlocks content that's either too grindy or too punishing solo. Legendary strongholds and missions. These require real coordination, covering, flanking, rotating, aggro, keeping pressure balanced. Raids and incursions, that's timing, positioning, and specialization are pretty much mandatory. Countdown and summit, efficiency scales hard, a strong group melts waves in minutes. So strong team roles, you have healers for future initiative, empathic resolve, somebody using BTSU gloves. There's skill DPS, using the capacitor, waveform, and a drone and turret. Then you have your tanks with Foundry Bulwark, Vanguard shield builds. You could potentially use glass DPS, Coyote's Mask, Grupo, Spotter, glass cannon. When you're in a team, you don't need to be good at anything. You just need to be really good at one thing. That's where the magic happens. Alright, well, what about PvP? Well, here's where the divide gets a bit sharper. Solo and PvP, especially in the Dark Zone, you're playing like a predator or prey. There's stealth, escape routes, regen builds, EMP tools, and ambush setups are key. Success is about timing movement and knowing when to disengage. Builds like Intimidate with Adrenaline Rush, Memento with Obliterate, or Hybrid Jammer Pulse setups pretty much shine here in this particular setup. However, with Team PvP, this is with Conflict as well as Dark Zone, it's all about coordination. Status effects chains, crossfire positioning, revive support, and layered pressure decide the fights. Uncoordinated teams die fast. Coordinated teams pretty much dominate. If you're solo, you win by surviving. If you're in a team, you win by syncing up and overwhelming. So when to switch up the roles? There's really no one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, think situational. Go solo when you're farming materials, control points, or searching for collectibles. Or you want to test builds without noise. Or even just, vibing and want full control. So go team when tackling legendary raids or countdown. You want faster XP, better loot, or higher efficiency. Or you're running experimental synergy builds, testing damage skills, armor regen, whatever. In PvP, well, solo is surgical. Team is tactical. Know which field you're on before you queue. Solo play builds situational awareness and resilience. You learn to adapt, reposition, and master your loadout. Team play builds strategy and timing. You learn to stack effects, play off others, and manage larger chaos. Neither is better, but being good at both, that when it turns you from an average player into a serious problem for any faction or other player. Now, of course, all of this is just an oversimplification. There are outliers. You see on YouTube all the time, you could solo legendary. Yeah, you can. But there's caveats to that. Some people can just sit there and just put all the things together and put their build and their weapon, a little bit of trial and error, some experimentation, and that they figured out the one build that they could do legendary, tidal basin, all by their lonesome. And that's fine. However, the majority of the players either can't do that or they don't want to do that, and this is what this video is about. So, which one's right for you? The honest answer, both are. You just need to know when to use them, how to build for them, and why they matter differently in PvE versus PvP. Because in the Division 2, adaptability is a tool in your toolbox, so use it. I hope this video was helpful and insightful. If it was, please drop a like, a sub if you haven't, and share it with your squad or your next solo incursion. As an aside, I have seriously given some thought on making build videos, but coming to the YouTube game so late, I figured that there was already enough channels out there to satisfy that topic 10 times over. However, if you all want to see that on this channel, let me know down in the comments. In the meantime, more breakdowns, balanced commentary, and clan shenanigans coming soon. Lastly, don't forget we have an X account and Discord account, details in the channel description. If you see us in game at the base of operations, hit us with a rock, paper, scissors match as a way to say hello. And as always, thank you for watching. This is Hannibal, signing off.